Hello, welcome to the Revetalized podcast. My name is Brett Endies. I am a professional dog trainer turned veterinary student in his 50s, and that's what made me decide to do this podcast. Um, let's see. I'm not going to hit stop because I was trying to do a couple takes. I'm just going to go with it. I've got a little list here of what I'm going to talk about today. This is our second episode, or my second episode. Last episode, I want to introduce myself. I got a little emotional. I probably will again. I am also just coming off a 3+ hour study session reading about biochemistry, so my brain is fried. But I told myself I would commit to doing these podcasts on a regular basis, so it is time to record. Whatever comes out, comes out. I'm going to try my best. It's a one-man show here. Full disclosure, I have a Bluetooth mic connected to my regular mic. I want to have the best audio possible. And I'm just trying to just share what my life is like and chronicle this experience being someone who's beyond midlife, becoming a medical student. I went into ChatGPT and I wanted to ask like what would be good to talk about in episode two. Episode one was just giving a rundown, telling you what the show is about and why I started it. A little bit more about me. So it came up with for episode two talking about, and I'm not going to read it word for word, but the idea gets me going with what I can talk about to you guys. Why I didn't go to vet school. Basically, most people would think getting into vet school, it's the dream, but why did I walk away with it, away from it twice, before actually getting accepted, not even getting accepted, not even trying basically. I want to talk about what happened the first time around, the second time around, a little bit more detail. I was giving like an overview last time. So we're going to talk about that. I think it's a good idea. Thanks, ChatGPT. Getting accepted into vet school. Um, yeah, I'm going to talk about that, where I went, the excitement, all of the, the fears, still fears every day, the imposter syndrome, all of that related to it. Um, would I have been a good vet if I had focused on that my entire career, versus dog training? Or maybe I'm going to be a better vet for certain reasons, and I'd like to talk about that too. I hope you like it this way. I'm giving you like an outline of it's like I don't know, it's like a lecture or something. Um, Lessons learned and advice for others. Yeah, I'm going to talk about other dog trainers who might be considering getting into the veterinary field, or the other way around, veterinarians, vet techs who want to work more in behavior. It's a big need. There is an epidemic level of dogs with behavior issues, and I'm definitely going to hybridize what I'm already doing with being a veterinarian once I have my degree. Yeah, and like how might life have been different, if I had gone earlier. Um, and just it says, reflect on whether or not I regret whatever decisions I've made. I've made shit. I have more regrets than anyone can imagine. You'll get to know me. I'll probably open up more on these podcasts and talk about my crazy life. I'm not really regretting as much as making mistakes, and I should have thought things out, or maybe not been as impulsive or listened to people when I was younger. Now I'm very satisfied with choices I make. Sometimes people frustrate me because they're not seeing things that if you put a little mental effort into life, you can see, especially when it comes to animals, because these poor dogs are relying on their owners to do whatever it is, the training work, make the changes they need, take time to exercise them, make them healthy so they don't need to go to the vet, be responsible and have a plan to be able to budget for if they need medical care. I mean, there's so many levels where people with their dogs can frustrate me, and I'm sure there'll be podcasts about it, but all in all, I think I'm pretty satisfied. That's the only point in my life where I get a little disappointed. But yeah, everything else I think is pretty good. I have my little life with my dogs. I think I'm healthy, feel good, studying, fulfilling myself. Even if I never went, just learning this stuff is so cool. All this, I mean, it's hard, but biochemistry, I mean, it's how everything is. It's going on inside of us right now as we speak. I mean, it almost makes you want to like eat impeccable and go on a run. I mean, talking about how all the, the systems work, and at the most, basic atomic level, what's going on in us and in nature in general. Really, really cool stuff. Oh, my new it's not new, I've had it for a while, but it's my banner. I was going to use it for like doing certain things, and I'll probably do it for my workshops. You'll see this banner. Um, So it's got my Los Angeles website and phone number, but you can easily access me on dogtrainingla.com. Anyone who doesn't know, I am going to be going to school, and I'm going to segue to like kind of about the school more, down in the Cayman Islands. So because of that, I'm only going to be able to work at certain times during, in between semesters where I'm going to conduct workshops, and then I'm going to do full time because I can do that while I'm in school. Zoom training, which I do already. I probably do like 5, 6 a week anyway for years, where I coach you, the dog owner, online. I demonstrate with my dogs how to handle in real life situations side by side. And I teach you how to train your dog. It works great. I mean, I've gone through every type of scenario from puppies to problem behaviors to recall training to public access training to walking. It works great. If you can follow instruction and you can watch and see what's being demonstrated, um, it almost works better because I'm not influencing the dog's behavior. I'm going to sell you on it because that's how I'm going to make a living. But reality is, it really can help you. And it's my experience of 30 years training dogs that you're paying for. I'm also going to do health coaching once I get my master's, which is going to be happening December. I'll be graduating. I'm going to be doing more health coaching and be like a dog nutrition and health and wellness coach as well. And I'm going to be doing that. I'm going to create programs. I'm also going to have online training programs that we're working on now, books, every imaginable way to both help your dog through the information that isn't the only information to help train your dog or resolve their behavior problems, but it's been proven to work in the real world. And I think the holistic way and the depth of how I approach this really is I want to call it a knack for understanding what dogs are about in the human dog relationship that sometimes isn't always connecting in the way, in an optimum way. So yeah, sign up for all that. It'll all come out. I'll announce it on the podcast. And definitely, please support this podcast. Subscribe, share it. Send me questions. I want to answer questions. I have another podcast called the Dog Savant Podcast. That one I've been doing for like 6, 7 years, and I have over 100 episodes, all related to dog training and behavior and the life of a dog trainer. And I'm going to continue recording those as well. But this one, Revetalized, is more dedicated to my vet school journey. That's why I'm talking more about my personal life and things like that. Um, it's hard to talk this stream of content. I'm like, well, thinking you don't want silence and you want to keep people, topical. I don't want to keep just saying blue, red, green. I can go full ADHD mode, which you probably have seen already. Um, Sometimes I get Twitch. I get the Elon Musk shoulder. Sometimes I get the autistic ADHD shit going on too. It's why I'm pretty good at what I do. It's a different kind of mind. Bear with it. I think you can learn a lot from it if you just can see between the social graces that aren't always followed, that people are not always comfortable with. I promise my intentions are pure. I don't mean any harm. So yeah, let's talk about it. So I'm getting accepted into vet school. Um, I'm not going to go down an emotional, cavern here, but holy shit, it was a just let me just see what happens. I just midlife crisis, whatever it is, and with my daughter, I was talking to her about she was getting discouraged. She wanted to do veterinary, kind of research, and she's a sophomore in college. She's a genius. She's amazing, but she's an overachiever like me, and like me, she has autism and she gets hard on herself. So I made a reference about the Rodney Dangerfield Back to School movie and how I should go back to college. And I was thinking about a veterinary behavior degree. That's what started it. Was I was thinking about going to University of Pennsylvania. They have a great vet school and a great, really new, and I recommend it to any trainer. It's a master's in behavior and wellness, and it's a 2 year master's program, very legitimate. And I definitely, if I didn't get into vet school, I'd be going to that. And at the same time, I applied to a few vet schools and I actually got accepted to St. Matthew's. So yeah, and it's a non-traditional school. They do it 3 semesters a year, so it's accelerated 2 years 4 months. I have to be correct. I say 2.5 years, 2 years 4 months on the Cayman Islands, and then it's going to be 1 year clinical, which is at a veterinary college in the U.S. They have a list of 10 of them. Well, it's not AVMA accredited, yes. Um, Believe me, if I got accepted to an AVMA accredited school, and there was one in St. Kitts, which is another Caribbean school in the islands, but they are AVM, but they needed me to go for 2 full years to get all these classes that I already had taken. Where St. Matthew's gave me credit for all of the courses I took, and I graduated with a Bachelor of Science in Psychology with honors. But I just didn't finish some of the chemistry classes or had to retake a couple. So they had a master's program connected with the Medical University of the Americas. It's another online, program. You can go there too, but I'm doing it online, 2 months, and it basically is all these things that I'm studying. I have to sit here. This camera's my phone's sitting on physics of biology and medicine, general organic chemistry and biology. We got biochemistry itself. We got an MCAT physics book. I've got another book in the car, an anatomy and physiology book. Um, but anyway, these are the courses. It's very intensive. It's beyond full time, master's level, basically a biochemistry degree over 2 semesters. And again, it's because I have prerequisite courses. Otherwise, I wouldn't. And that's why I'm doing this, because once I'm done, it's automatic acceptance. That's a contingency. You finish this 2 semester program, now you're accepted to vet school come January. Welcome to our course. So yeah, I'm assuming I'm going to pass. I'm busting my butt and I'm studying and hiring. I mean, I must do 5 to 6 tutoring sessions a week, and I'm going to triple them. So it's going to be probably like 7 to 10 a week in the next couple months, because we start in May, and I want to just get. I'm going through the coursework that I'm going to have in that first semester. I want to be beyond prepared. And also at St. Matthew's, they do give you incentive that if you get certain grade point levels, you get scholarship money. And I could really use it because I'm not going to be able to work full time while I'm there. And that's going back to the AVMA accreditation. The issue that people have is that they're younger, they don't have a career. I have ability to monetize what I do, and I can still do workshops and see clients when I do have breaks. They do have nonstop flights. Actually, I just found out from Cayman Islands to Los Angeles, 6 hour flight. I can get here and do workshops, see clients, things like that. Opens a lot of opportunities. And again, all this online stuff, I'm working very hard in the next year to monetize, and just so many things I can provide to, again, supplement my ability to just so I can pay my way through school. AVMA accredited schools, I would have been able to get a FAFSA loan, but who wants to come out of vet school at 55 years old with loans? I just don't want to. I'm selling one of my houses in Alaska. I'm saving money the next 10 months, working my butt off here in LA. If you're here locally, please, or you're someone listening and wants a Zoom session, the more people I can help, the better. Before I go to school, and my time's going to be limited, and then it's all the online stuff and limited time in person. I know I'm redundant. Someone told me I know I'm redundant. It's an autistic trait, and I just like to make my points, and I care. I'm sorry. This is how I am, who I am. I know, again, where my heart and intentions are. If I meant wrong or I want to upset or annoy people, then that's a whole nother story. But no, it's just intention of things that I think I am. People want the information. Dog. Anyway, so the AVMA, that would have been something that I could have gotten. And also you have to take, it's called the PAVE program. It's for people who graduate from veterinary schools in other countries, or they were veterinarians and they want to practice in the US. You have to take the NAVLE exam. It's the NAVLE. It's the National Association of Veterinarians Licensure Examination. Oh, I got that. Yeah. It's basically, it's the accumulation of all your 4 years of vet school. In my case, it'll be 3.5 years because of the accelerated program. And yeah, you take that, you and then you have to take a second one called the PAVE program, which is another class. And people complain about the cost because it's another exam for like $5,000 or $8,000. Again, I work. I have an established life different than some younger students, so it just gives me an opportunity to pay my way. Yes, this is my retirement that I'm would have been saving the next 4 years. It's going to be 400,000 total, where I would have been working more, saving, that is going to this investment of my fulfillment and my ability to help dogs. It really is. I have plans, trust me. I'm not done yet, and I just want to be able to have more capacity than what I've been doing and fulfillment again. So again, there's also a chance, because they've already had their first site visit and they're going through the process of getting the AVMA, American Veterinary Medical Association. Before, and I'm going to talk about the process when I found out I got accepted, just so kind of we know. Um, like it wasn't like an impulsive choice. I did so much research before I signed that acceptance letter. It was the most difficult decision of my life. I'm changing everything at 51 years. I'll be 51 next month, April. Um, yeah, that's really the big thing. And they said that they might get accredited in the next couple of years. So if it does, then it transfers over, and then I don't even have to take the PAVE exam, the PAVE the PAVE program. So whatever, roll the dice, who cares? And they said, I've talked to vets, and that was one of my qualifiers, was talking to people who've graduated and people who know people who've graduated. They're like, I've worked alongside vets that went to your school or other Caribbean schools. He goes, some of them won awards in their clinical year that were better academically prepared than the students who were in that school for the prior three. So again, it's what you put into it. You bust your ass, you treat it seriously. I have no choice. This is, I'm not going to be able to afford extra semesters if I fail any courses. I got to make it happen. So yeah, so that's, let me see what ChatGPT wants me to talk about. You see, it just gives me ideas, and then I can talk. I just need direction. I need to be kind of scaffolded in here. Facilitated learning for Brett, right? Um, So yeah, I got accepted. I woke up, it was a Monday morning, right? I always check my emails when I wake up. There's always a bunch of them, people, clients, whatever. And I saw from the person who I had gotten the interview from a week prior, I was like, okay. When I saw, like, you can see the first sentence of the email basically in your inbox, and something about like we've reached the decision. I'm like, here we go. And I open it. I was like, whoa. And I made a video. I do have a video of right after it happened. I just woke up. I had my little mini girl who's sleeping right by. I love this little dog so much. With me because she's like one of my favorite things in the entire world. That little Yorkie dog. And yeah, so I mean, surreal. Couldn't believe it. Told my brother. Really, really cool. Then I just had to think. I had to think. Okay, now you have the opportunity. Plan it out. A lot of financial, a lot of number crunching, a lot of doing the math of how much per month. I mean, the tuition is going to be 250 grand. That's why I have a Patreon. I have a buy me a cup of coffee thing. I have GoFundMe podcasts. I'm going to try to get sponsors once you get this thing going here. Please support. Again, I'm trying. I don't. There's people who need more help, a lot more help, but I really feel I'm really giving myself all I can and putting everything I can into this. So I'm not, and I want to give back. It's not free. I'm just looking for, no handouts. I want to offer, sign up for online courses, buy my books, hire me for Zoom training, hire me in the real world, come to my workshops. Not out of pity, out of real, I'm going to give you that good stuff. Um, anyway, so yeah, so I was excited. It was really cool to have that. And the application process, right? I guess it wasn't tough. It was just I had to kind of go and do a lot of hustling, go on to get all my transcripts from the different schools I went to. I had to go reach out to people who I'd worked for who weren't even alive anymore. Some of them, some better. You just need vet experience, and that was a big thing. Well, you were a trainer for all these years, but have you ever worked at a vet? That's different. I worked at a vet for over 1,000 hours. I did it while I was starting to be a pet sitter and start training, and it was my full time thing while I was thought I was going to vet school the first time around, and then the second time around. This is the third, right? It's pretty much the third now. So yeah, so it wasn't tough. It was just a lot of steps. There was a personal letter I had to write, and I just told my story and what I'm motivated by. I had some great people. I think I mentioned in the last podcast. I had for my personal letters, I had Renee Russo and Eric Roberts, who were clients of mine. I became personal friends with them over the years, who were willing. They know me, and they know me with animals, so they were willing to write letters, which is holds some credence. And then I had a veterinary friend of mine who I've worked with him, and he knows my dogs, and I've worked with clients that he has his clients as well, patients. And so it's more recent, so it's more valid than looking for someone I worked for 20, 30. I mean, 30 years. I worked in my first vet clinic in like 1994. That's 31 years ago. It's crazy, right? So the place is still open, but the vets don't exist there. So I'm so fortunate that those people, because some people didn't. I understand some people who should have come out of the woodwork really didn't want, it's a little disappointing, but that's fine. I got too much to focus on. It's not even like, oh, I won't forget. It's fine. If anything, as I get older, I realize how people are. They show me that sometimes people are just being polite and nice and too, like, I'm not afraid to say something like that's going on. People would rather keep a smile and they just rather put the fake time. I don't know, but I've learned a lot about people, and this journey has shown me a lot as well. Mostly good things, but some true colors of people, and that's okay too. Um, but it was, the application process was just, it wasn't that much different than any other college application. It was just more showing proof of record and finding transcripts from, I mean, there's a, oh, I forgot the name of it. It's a website, and they keep track of they connect with all the colleges, and that's how you get your transcripts, and they send it through. I'm drawing a blank right now. I just put too much in my brain this evening. Um, but yeah, it'll come to me. But yeah, so you go through them and you pay. I mean, every school charge. You see, these schools all have their own little scam. Like some are $2.50, some are $12, and you got to send all the transcripts, and they piece it together, and then they give you the interview. I don't think everyone gets an interview. As soon as I got an interview, I started looking on Reddit. I'm like, vet school interview, and it's like, no, not everyone gets one. I'm like, oh, okay, that's kind of cool. Um, so yeah, so we did the interview, and felt good about it. I talked about it last time, so I won't get into details. But yeah, I think I got accepted, and it was really cool. Um, Going to talk about it briefly. I'm going to just check this. Pardon me. I'm going to just check this. Oh, we're still recording. Good. Because I have the phone reversed. I can't tell. I'm doing this bare bones. I got to, and I've had like podcasts in the past where I spent so much time talking, and it's still recording though. So we're good. Um, reality of vet school, why did I go? The first time I didn't go, I was too immature. I always wanted to be a vet. But I went to college. I'm like, whoa, I want to party. I want to drink. I want to smoke weed. I want to make friends. I want to make girlfriends. Just barely got by. I had a C and then I just went to life. Then I went back again in my like Kermit the Frog, early to mid 20s, and I was into it. I was on that track. And again, I wasn't mature enough. I started my pet sitting business was happening. And I was just kind of like, nah, just making a living. You don't want to be a poor student. You don't want to struggle. And I never really had money growing up. So I was like, this is cool. Like making a living, like better than the person would pay me if I worked somewhere. And I was working at a vet, getting like, you don't make a lot working at a vet as an assistant, but I was getting the experience because I thought I was going to go to school, work my way, get accepted vet. Life took over and I just kind of failed out. I didn't fail out, I just dropped out. I just finished a semester, withdrew from a couple classes, and that was it. Time goes on, you just work hard, making money. It's all I focused on, life, and probably partied a little more than I should have in my 20s. Then I had a child, and but before that, I went back to school. I think it was 28, and I was like, I'm going to just at least get my bachelor's. I'm going to get a bachelor's in psychology. I'm a dog trainer. I want to get my psych degree, but I also want to get science classes in because I still wanted that vet dream going. But I just, again, it's like, well, now we're 30, I'm almost 30. Do we want to, so I was on that track, but I still wasn't serious enough. But I was going to take, and I did take a lot of science. I have to do a bachelor's of science. I did take a lot of biochemistry, basic chemistry, those classes, and I graduated. But while I was finishing, I was like in my almost my junior year. I met my daughter's mother. I'm not going to get in relationships during this. I'm not, because every time I get in a relationship, I get sidetracked and then life happens. So no, I got to focus. This is my relationship. This is my doggies. That's it. Who cares? I'm 50. My testosterone's probably low anyway. Just kidding. I'm very healthy. Um, but I just had to raise my kid and I had to make a living and support it. So that was that. So I graduated. I actually finished the last year while doing, kind of independently. The teachers all understood my situation and worked with me. And I graduated with honors. It was a 3.61, really good. It averaged me out because my other years it was like C's and B's. So it got me a reasonable grade point average, closer to 3, if you sum up everything from the C years all the way to my years when I was more mature to do it, where I treated it seriously because I was, in my late 20s, early 30s when I finished. Then life. Never thought of it again. Had my diploma on the wall. I was always proud of it. I always thought as a dog trainer to have a bachelor's degree, it's a little step up. I never really advertised it. I have it now on my Revetalized. I put BS because I can't wait to put MS, and then I can't wait to put DVM. Right. But at that time for dog trainers, you just be good at what you do, have some knowledge, understand learning theory. I did all that in my psych classes, and also just time put in understanding dogs, how dogs and humans relate to each other, how to train them, handle them, whatever. You get good at it. You learn from other trainers, things like that. I went to an apprentice course from Anthony Jerome. Just anyway, I became a dog trainer, and that's kind of what happened. Um, so, let me see. So if it's why didn't I go? Right, that's what's that. So that's why I didn't go in life. And then again, coming back to why now, 50 years old, I decided to apply, and here we are. I'll be 51 starting this program in May, and I'll be almost 52 in my first semester of vet school. Um, would I have been a good vet? Oh, let me talk about, like, because a lot of people are warning me. It's a good point. A lot of people are warning me about, like, well, vets have suicide. I posted about a vet. Of course, I know there's a lot of stress. There's a lot of stress, and then, but Brett, you think you're going to make more money as a trainer than ever as a vet? Not about that. It's not about that. It's about my fulfillment. It's about me being able to help dogs in a larger capacity. My end goal is probably to just have a rescue out in the wilderness of Alaska and just have me and a bunch of dogs, maybe some helpers, and I could provide all the care, behavioral, veterinary, get donations, but the vet expenses are going to be reduced because the 250 grand or 400 grand with living expenses it's going to cost me to do this for 4 years. Some rescues, that's like, a couple of years, and that's what they have to raise. So I'm gonna, for just for medical care. So, and it's not the only thing. I'm gonna do regular practice too, but small, more like mobile vet or some small little mom and pop in rural Alaska or a rural place, and just enjoy helping. And yes, it's going to be stressful, but I'm not. I think the leg up I have is I understand dogs and owners, and I have such a long track record. People They know they can't go that far with their humanistic BS with me. It just doesn't work, and they know like I can't bargain with nature with this guy. He's got too proven a record of doing what he does well and understanding what dogs are about. And then if it's a vet, it'll be in not bragging. It's just the one, the dog savant. The dog savant. I'm good at it because that's all I know. That's why I'm learning all these other things to be a better dog savant. This is all for them. All this biology, all this stuff. I'm learning human medicine first before I even learn the vet medicine. I'm gonna have to learn about fetal pigs and all this stuff that isn't even related to dogs and even cats. Um, it's for them. But yeah, so the stress and burnout vets face, I'm stressed and burnt out already. What are you going to do? I'm just training myself to go harder, and I'm going to probably just make myself more optimum health wise so I can have energy and keep it going like the Terminator. Because mentally, you ain't going to meet someone as strong as me. You will, but I'm that person, David Goggins level. That's why people hate it because I expect them to be at the level of discipline that I try to put myself, at least in certain areas. Could I be better shape? Could I work? Everything could be improved. But that's how I see it. I'm never status quo, and I'm not dissatisfied. I'm satisfied when I meet my max every day. That's why I'm doing this podcast after studying my ass off, my balls, ass, butt, nose. I studied it all off today, but I'm still going to give you this because I want to share and I want to. This is important to me. This is a very important thing to be chronicling more than anything else. So yeah, so I guess the stress will be there, but every job stress, the lack of satisfaction and dying with a regret, dying with the regret of something that I know I could have done that I didn't because of whatever, that I ain't gonna be able to live with. That if I can't take, if you understand Buddhism, they always say about dying with a happy mind. And, easier said than done, right? Who knows what you're gonna think about in your last moment? But you really want to try. And I always say they interview people who are older in their last moments, and a lot of it is regret. For some people, for me, it might be certain regrets of family things or whatever. I know I try my best in a lot, but with this, my best potential, you know, just in this, yeah, and passing on whatever karmic knowledge I can give to my next life that gave a little extra step of you're born to this next ability to help whatever that, I do believe in that in part, as weird as that sounds. So anyway, the stress, it'd be stressful to not have met my potential, trust me. And then you take that in your last thought of, I'm not taking that to the next realm. um so yeah, I talk about, would I be a good vet? I think so. I think my understanding of dogs, my ability to handle them, my ability to know the behavior end and the human dog relationship and talk to them and be comfortable with the dogs and animals, not just in a clinical setting, but in real life. If I did house call type training, I mean vet visits. I've been in tens of thousands of people's houses with their dogs. That's like my life. Is knock knock, hi, welcome to your house. I'm very comfortable telling you what to do with your dog and being all over your house and sitting on your floor, and so not anything new to me. Um, let's see. Yes, I talk about all these overlaps. How many, why vets aren't well trained? Because the vets, they spend time with their own dogs and in clinical settings. They don't, the ones who might work. Even there's a lot of vet techs that go into vet, become veterinarians. I really think they should spend time at a grooming shop, at a kennel, at a dog sitter, a trainer, more like, going on walks, going to dog parks and studying the behavior of dogs and humans, the social behaviors and the ways people interpret their dogs, which is usually not not even close to what dogs are about. So all that, excuse me. um let's see, you got such a mellow version of me tonight, guys. I'm so fucking tired. um Lessons, advice, would you be in good fit? Lessons learned: go for it, live your dreams, don't care what people think. I have so many people call me so many things, just, and it does hurt. I'm not callous to that. I get upset, but the sad, just do what you're supposed to do. It's not about making money. That'll come. I've made hundreds of thousands of dollars as a dog trainer. I've made multiple six-figure years doing this by myself with very little overhead, and I've been satisfied with that and had great lives. I've had big houses, I have toys, boats, all that. It's great, but reality is the only thing that made that worth it and satisfying. And it wasn't to live a better lifestyle. It was always re-put into just improving myself. Is because I always did it for, I love dogs and I did it, not, it wasn't an easy way to make a living. I could have been a car salesman or something to make more money doing something that just didn't, to me, have a soul behind it. So Yeah, I think that's a lesson in advice to just go for it. Don't You'll figure it out if money's the issue. I see a lot of people, they're on like, how do we, I got accepted to the school. There's a message group on Facebook for recently accepted students to the school, St. Matthew's University, by the way. Um, and I understand, but you figure out a way. I'm sure there's a way for everybody. Whatever you want to do, and I've sold myself short. So I'm just saying that I'm speaking from my own mistakes, not just, but I have seen that if you just do it, you just do it. Brett, why are you becoming a dog walker? Are you going to just be a pet sitter your whole life? I've been told that by close family members, and look at me now. If I went back to school and I went to business or some bullshit or as a stockbroker for a little period of time, I'll tell those stories too. And I worked in my late teens for Jordan Belfort in New York, where I grew up. Um, yeah, I don't think I'd be where I'm at now. Could have been dead, could have been addicted to drugs. I could have been so rich and had more problems. I don't know. I don't think that would have been the right path for me. Um, but yeah, if you're a dog trainer and you got half a brain and you're young and you want to just go get your associate's degree and just take all science courses. If you take all the pre-med courses, biology, algebra, pre-calculus, chem 1, chem 2, organic chem, biochem, probably physics, biophysics, something like that. Um, and you go work at vet clinics, you could within 3 or 4 years from 18 years old be in vet school, maybe even 2 years, I guess, if you really applied. I guess you'd have to go to a school where they have more of in-person labs, but you can do most of that online too. If you really want to be a vet, you can do it. They have local community colleges that are not expensive, at least to get going. There's a lot of scholarships you can find, especially if you go to a vet school in the US, and you can get loans that are, I don't really recommend loans because I did it when I was getting my psych degree and I ended up, it's a lot of interest that you're paying. And I was already into my adulthood. So I wouldn't recommend loans unless you're really going to be working hard when you're done and you're probably young enough to make it worth that investment. That's why I'm trying my best. Other than maybe a semester or two, I might have to float some money, somehow. But not going to really try to get in debt. Come out with 250 grand of loans. That's insane for my age. No matter how much money you'd make, just not the way I'm doing this. It just wouldn't. It's not even an option. Um, oh, let's see. Yeah, I talked about hands-on versus formal education. That's what I'm saying. You can't just do your hands-on clinical. Even then, it's these dogs are not even acting like themselves when they go to the vets. So you got to see them in the real life and not just your own dogs. You got to see this in an applied way and analyze the real reality of how dogs and humans live and dogs interpret their environments and the relationships humans have with them. Um, yeah, so I talked about these certain other things here. And I guess the last close they want me to, the ChatGPT little outline here for the podcast, on whether or not I regret. No, I don't regret the decision. I'm all in. That's why I wanted to make sure I did so much homework and took 5 full days to decide. But yeah, I'm all in, so I don't regret. Maybe I'll change that in the future. Maybe you'll say, "Hey, bro, remember in episode 2 you said you don't regret? What about now?" I'm going by right now, the moment I'm in. And how it might have been different had I gone. Well, I don't know. That's I say. I don't know. I could have been a maybe not as good with dogs and not as what I think would be successful. Another thing I think about is there's a lot of advances in veterinary medicine that I'm going to get in on learning now. If I learned 20 years ago, I would have, there's so much more advancement exponentially. Even in 3 years when I do my clinicals, there's going to be more. So I'm excited about that. I'm not really that behind. It's just age and time and human medicine. If I stay, my mother has a boyfriend. My mother's 76 now, I think, 76. Her boyfriend's like 82. This guy doesn't stop. I said, if there was a guarantee, his name is Ken. Hi, Ken. Um, there's a guarantee. I said to my brothers, if there was a guarantee that I would be 81, 82, and be like Ken, and he's not like, again, you would see him and say, he doesn't look healthy. Like, I mean, he looks vibrant and young for his age, but he doesn't look like he's like runs marathons or eats, you know, paleo, but maybe genetics is mine, but he's still going. They travel all over the world. They go on vacations every other month and all these exotic places. They were in Cuba last month. I mean, my mother's health, she's been through a lot of disease, but my mother takes care of herself. So, if there's a guarantee that I could still practice medicine and I'm in my mid 70s, even part time, That's a 20-year run of a career. That's not friggin' bad. I just got to stay healthy and I got to just kind of keep this going. And I got to put in extra hours. I thought I was going to slow down, and it's like, no, you're just adding more. I got to get my 6 to 8 hours of sleep. That's a big issue because I push it sometimes. But short of that, if I can just stay healthy and keep focused, and the money thing I know is going to come. I know it's going to come. And thank you to everyone who is even thinking about supporting me, working with me. I won't disappoint. I promise. I have on my, if you go on my Patreon for Revetalized, Revet, well, ALIZED, like the podcast, you'll see different offerings I have, anywhere from a few dollars up to thousands of dollars, where I could be your dog's personal vet for life once I get my degree. So anyway, just anywhere I can be of service, and just any questions, any way you can just give me a word of encouragement when I'm exhausted like this, and I still have to go out. I'm going to go do my walk with the dogs, and I've got to still do some YouTube video studying for another couple hours. I'm putting in 4 to 6 hours of studying a day, and I'm working full time. um, I just need that motivation. I got to have some cheerleaders on my side keep me going. So even that alone that's a currency to me. It really is, no bullshit. All right, thank you. So again, I appreciate listening, subscribing, all that good stuff. If you do want to go on my website, dogtrainingla.com. If you're in Los Angeles or Alaska, I do in person, and I'm going to be doing workshops in those locations once I start vet school. But the next 10 months until December 2025, I'm available, and I will be available online, and look out for all of my other offerings coming soon. Thank you.